That folk music that you play there, what is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Up in the morning at the break of dawn, a couple good friends and a couple good songs on the radio. Everything you need in the back of the car, you got the open road and a Texaco card, and you're on your own. The Gulf Coast water was warm and blue. You snuck onto a boat and took a twilight cruise. It was the craziest thing you ever did. And you told that girl you've always liked that one day you're gonna make her your wife, and she turns bright red. When the seasons change like they will, when the falling leaves seem to echo how you feel, when your whole world turns from July to November, this is the day, this is the day, this is the day that you will remember. On a little dirt road just out of town, on a ridge with a view of the sun going down, and your heart beating in your chest. The sparkle took her by surprise. She never saw it coming, you could see it in her eyes. She just nodded yes. When the seasons change like they will, when the falling leaves seem to echo how you feel, when your whole world turns from July to November, this is the day, this is the day, this is the day that you will remember. Your wife wakes you up in the middle of the night, says it's not a false alarm this time, and you're scared to death. But you hold her hand and you say a prayer. Tears well up as the moment draws near. You'll see his first breath. When the seasons change like they will, when the falling leaves seem to echo how you feel, when your whole world turns from July to November, this is the day, this is the day, this is the day that you will remember.
Let's hear it.
Thank you.
Right, the show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and our guest is
been honored in many songwriting contests and by Performing Songwriters Magazine and their Do-It-Yourself issue. And his name is Dave Potts. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Originally from Colorado.
That's right.
And now residing in Alabama.
I am. I needed a change. And Alabama's about as different as you can be from Colorado.
What's the attraction of Alabama for you?
I like the slow pace of life. It's beautiful scenery there, as far as if you like green and trees and flowers, and Denver's a little bit dry and dusty for me. So and people are nice. They talk a little funny, but they're nice. I enjoy it.
Good. Are you one of the songwriters who likes to talk about what inspired your songs, or what?
That's a good question. I can. Most of my songs have at least a little bit of truth to them, enough to talk about, and then the parts that I made up, I leave to the mystery of it. But I don't like to give away all my secrets. But most of my songs are at least somewhat based on my own experiences with exciting stuff that never happened put in to make it more listenable. I learned a long time ago if I wrote just all about what I've done and where I've been, I wouldn't be able to write that many songs, because it just isn't that exciting when it comes right down to it. So I make interesting things happen to me.
Cool. Well, you want to give us another one?
All right. Well, this is one of the songs I wrote about moving from Colorado to Alabama. It's such a strange idea for a lot of people that I've written probably like 12 songs about why somebody would move to Alabama from Colorado, because nobody seems to understand it. If you listen to all 12 of them in just the right order and pick out the true parts, you'll get the real story. But this is one of my favorites. This is called Amanda Bramlett. Amanda Bramlett stole my heart 8 years ago this May. Less than 10 blocks from the house I'm living in today. It was just by lucky happenstance I was even in this town. I was on my way to Georgia when my truck had broken down. So I stopped into the corner store for a glass of lemonade. As soon as I saw her there, my heart gladly sailed away. And her hand had brushed against mine as she handed me my change. I knew at that moment my life would never be the same. She had the kind of smile red roses were made for. I can still remember the blue cotton dress she wore. She was everything that I had waited my whole life to find. My world turned on just one look in Amanda Bramlett's eyes. And so I packed my bags and moved into this Alabama town. We were meant to be, it was destiny, of this I had no doubt. But it was nowhere near the fairy tale I thought that it would be. And love at first sight turned into a distant memory. She had the kind of smile red roses were made for. And I can still remember the blue cotton dress she wore. And the last time that I saw her, it was the day we said goodbye. My world turned on just one tear in Amanda Bramlett's eyes. Well, the years have passed and I've come to build a new life here. It was more than a lucky happenstance that our love disappeared. I've got a wife and kids now, I'm settled in this Alabama town. And I couldn't ask for any more than the blessings that I've found. And I rarely think about the day that she came into my life. But where would I be today without Amanda Bramlett's eyes? She had the kind of smile red roses were made for. I can still remember the blue cotton dress she wore. I thought that she was everything I'd waited my whole life to find. But that's not the reason I was drawn to Amanda Bramlett's eyes. Amanda Bramlett stole my heart 8 years ago this May. Less than 10 blocks from the house I'm living in today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Tells a great story.
Thank you.
How much of it is true?
17.6% actually. That's what I came up with. It is true. I am married now and have little kids, and I'm not married to anyone named Amanda Bramlett, so that's all true. My truck didn't break down, but I did have lemonade, and so yeah, it's parts of it are true.
Cool. Well, I'd like to explain exactly how you ended up here on Horses Sing None of It.
Okay. I would like you to do that too, because I
Nancy-
don't know.
One of our most excellent volunteers is named Nancy Haslam, and she's a regular listener of Jim Monahan's program, All Mixed Up Radio, on WDHA 105.5. Comes out of Denville, I think, New Jersey. And he apparently is a real fan of yours and plays your music all the time, and she became a fan of yours through that medium.
That's great.
And she requested that I ask you to be a guest on our show.
That's great. I'm glad it worked out.
Me too.
Yeah, thanks
I
to
really like
Jim
your
and
music.
Nancy. Yeah.
So we gave a nice plug to Jim and WDHA, and why don't you give us another song?
All right. Well, I'll do one song that's not quite all the way so shimmery and happy the whole time. People tend to end up thinking that all I do is write really disgustingly happy songs, which I do have a lot of those. But you know,
That's a good thing.
when people just see a guy with a guitar, kind of coffeehouse style music, you expect a certain amount of depressing, crying your coffee songs. I don't really have a lot of those. I don't know. I apologize to people all the time for being too happy in my music, but I balance it out with my somber personality. But this is one of these slightly more traditional guy with a guitar kind of songs. This is called Black Coffee. Tonight she's feeling better. Tonight she's feeling alright, at least that's what she says. And I can see her smiling, and I can hear her voice, it is just about to crack. For years it seems I've been waiting for this moment. It shames me just a little to say I was happy when she called. I know he's probably thinking as he's driving out of town that I would be the one to break her fall. Tomorrow morning she'll wake up, pour her coffee black, stare out of the window at the cars parked round the cul-de-sac, and wage a losing battle against the voices in her head. But tell her he'll be coming back. We all knew that this was coming. It had been a while since things seemed right. He was her knight in shining armor, and she was just a way for him to pass the time. And all the while I was playing every angle, playing the part of anyone I thought that she might need. I knew that one day he would leave her stranded, and I hoped that she'd come running straight to me. Tomorrow morning she'll wake up, pour her coffee black, and stare out of the window at the cars parked round the cul-de-sac, and wage a losing battle against the voices in her head that tell her he'll be coming back. So it almost ended up the way I dreamt it. She is here beside me and we'll never be apart. And even as she's holding me, she's fighting with the memory. Oh, I never thought that guy would break my heart. Every morning she'll wake up, pour her coffee black, stare out of the window. She'll be looking for his Cadillac, waging losing battles against the voices in her head that tell her he'll be coming back, that tell her he'll be coming back. Thank you.
All right. That song is on this recording of yours.
It is.
One Night in the South is the name of the recording. And we should tell folks how to get in touch with you. They can email you at info@davepotts.com.
Yes.
And they can look for davepotts.com to get more information about your recordings and your touring schedule and so forth and so on.
All that good
Photos
stuff.
and quotes and
Yes.
awards and all that.
All kinds of stuff. Very exciting journal where I talk about where I had pizza on my last tour. Also, people seem to want to know. That may not be true, but it's on my journal anyway.
Do you rate the pizza?
I don't rate it necessarily on a 1 to 10, but I do say on the last tour the best pizza I had was so and so. Yeah, so that's a rating system. Not a bad idea. Look for that in the future on my website. The Ralph-inspired pizza rating system.
What else would you like to do for us?
I'll play the title song of the new CD called One Night in the South, and this is basically of all the songs about a guy moving from Colorado to Alabama, this is the most accurate one so far. This is the only one that mentions sweet tea in it, which people from New Jersey might not know what sweet tea is, but that's a reason to move to the South. It's you can't drive up from New Jersey and drink sweet tea, but drive around Alabama.
So what
sure
is sweet tea?
See? What? There are people watching that are like, Ralph doesn't know what sweet tea is. What's going on? It's basically what it sounds like. It's iced tea that has a bunch of sugar brewed into it before, so it's extremely sweet and it's great. It's a Southern thing. You'll come down and check it out sometime.
Before you start the song, I just want to point out that you have this very elaborate capoing system set up on your guitar.
I do. People that play the guitar and want to know, it's a cut capo. It only covers 3 of the strings, so it makes it in an open tuning without having to retune. And people that don't play the guitar, I tell them that the truth is it doesn't really do anything. It's just for show. And I found out a long time ago, the more little things and stuff you put on your guitar, people are just more impressed. Even if they don't know what it's for, they just go, wow, this guy used like 7 capos, I don't know. So sometimes I use 3 or 4 and the rest of them don't really do anything. But, this is called One Night in the South. I was straight out of college with a dream in my head, a guitar in my truck, no home and no bed. traveling the road like so many before, with an interstate map that quickly got worn. Growing up in the West, I'd never seen anything east of Texas or south of D.C. But the first time I headed down I-85, the part of me I'd never felt came alive. It's an hour from Atlanta to East Alabama. Took 1 hour to change a man's fate. One night in the South, it turned me around, changed my views and my mind and myself. Like a step back in time to how things might have been. You could leave your doors unlocked all night. Might be the way the stars shine, or the slow pace of life, or the taste of sweet tea in my mouth. But I never knew where I belonged to one night in the South. So now there's a small town that I call my home. I've got a view of the country sitting on my front porch. A couple magnolias, an acre of land, and a girl that I love with a ring on her hand. She changed my perspective, she changed my life. The first time I looked in her eyes, one night in the South, it turned me around, changed my views and my heart and myself. Like a step back in time to how things might have been when a man and his wife stood a chance. It might be the way we were raised, or the bond of our faith, or the way one look makes my heart pound. But we both knew our prayers had been answered one night in the South. It's an hour from Atlanta to East Alabama. Took 1 hour to change a man's fate. One night in the South turned me around, changed my views and my mind and myself. Like a walk in the country on the first day of spring, after 3 months of rain in the pines. Might be the peace that I find from the slow pace of life, and how the sky looks when the sun's going down. But I never knew where I belonged till one night. I never knew where I belonged till one night. I never knew where I belonged till one night in the South. One night in the South. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Great song.
Thank you.
Well, we have just a little bit less than 4 minutes
All right.
left to the show, so we want to thank you for joining us on the Horses
thank you.
segment of it.
Thanks for having me.
My
Appreciate it.
pleasure to sit here and drink in your music.
Thanks.
And we should tell folks once again they can check for more information on www.davepotts.com for more information about Dave and his music and his touring schedule. And we worked out a little something to play harmonica on with you.
Yes. We'll do we're gonna do one more southern kind of song. This is a song about driving through the South in the springtime. It's one of my favorite things to do, driving down these little back roads. The name of the song is Back Roads. yesterday, but Shenandoah brings me back around, singing Sunday in the South. The dog would say it's spring and magnolias will soon be followed. My heart along these back roads, past these broken fence posts, leading me home. And it feels like home. Oh, the smell of the air is familiar now. It's cleaner here than any place I've found. As the days grow longer and the nights grow warm, the moon comes up before the sun goes down. Along these back roads, in every small town you can stop for peaches at little stands right by the side of the road, and it feels like home. And it's springtime and the leaves come out. The flowers and the kudzu, they all cover up the ground. And I hear a breeze blowing across the plains of Dixie, but that's the only sound. I'm driving on a back road with the radio on and the windows down. My mind is stuck in right now, and I can't stop singing Sunday in the South. Dog would say it's spring and magnolias will soon be following. My heart along these back roads. In every small town there's at least 8 churches with stained glass windows. It feels like home. It feels like home.